Hey everybody, welcome back to our next episode of our multiplayer Interstellar Transport Company with Sabouts. Where are we at? It is July of 2051. We've got Mercury about to get going for real here. Mars is doing pretty well, it looks like. Luna's getting flooded with stuff. How are things looking over on your side?
They're looking pretty good, actually. It's hard to believe we're only a year into the game. It feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised. My raw material ship's doing pretty good, so I imagine that they must have somewhat altered. They did mention that they were working a little bit on changing prices to try to make it so it was, people weren't just moving around rare resources and machinery and such. They wanted to see people move other goods too, and I think it's starting to reflect a little bit. I'm seeing profitability in things I originally never saw them before, like raw materials. Water's a little bit more profitable than it used to be. I haven't messed with consumer goods. I'm somewhat skeptical still, regardless of what they've said about.
I had a ship that was taking consumer goods from Earth to Luna, and it did pretty well.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah. I've saturated Luna, so I've had to pull back on the goods going there, but I'm actually kind of... The problem, I don't want to take them to Mars because then it has to come back empty from Mars. And I don't feel confident enough about consumer goods to try that yet.
Yeah, I can see that. And, Luna's really getting saturated with a lot of stuff, I'm noticing.
Yeah. I mean, it's still good to take stuff away from there, I guess. But even there, there's not really any raw materials ore. So you know what? It's not good to take stuff away from there.
Exactly. And on top of that, it's right next to Earth. So unless Luna somehow outpaces Earth, it just never seems like it's profitable to move stuff from just Luna to other places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because all our manufacturing, I mean, maybe like 20, 30 years down the road in the game, you could have factories on other planets or something, but in our time scale.
I mean, I imagine Luna got to catch up to Earth eventually, simply because Earth does run out of, raw materials. And how cool would it be if they eventually made it so Earth had like some type of cataclysmic, or like it was a random event that could strike every now and again, where Earth has some sort of cataclysmic event, or...
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, I'd like to see
meteor strike or something like that.
I'd like to see all sorts of kind of different things where maybe like Earth gets hit by, it's a random event that could occur, or even a random planet somewhere gets struck by an asteroid and it wipes out the entire planet and makes it barren and useless.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you'd have to, like, if you had any ships going there, or if you were invested in that planet, that'd be money lost. Or if there were ships going there, you'd have to scramble to reroute your ships that were heading there and, get rid of them or whatever you got to do. Just adding that kind of, random event scenario to the game.
That actually would be really interesting if they did that to Earth, like, 40 years in or something, where you should have everything else being produced on other planets, and then they take out your home base. That would actually be a really interesting late game twist, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I like the idea they had with the different governments and whatnot, and I know we've talked about it before. I think it'd be really cool to see, if like the galaxy got large enough and populated enough that a faction broke away, and then, maybe you could decide to trade weapons. They've mentioned weapons and what would it be like war materials and such, that you could move between different factions, but you might lose reputation with other factions.
Yeah, if you had to like do smuggling and stuff, that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, if there's some way you could figure that out to make it, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Or if you could have like a certain set of bays on your ship dedicated to like smuggling certain goods, but you might get caught and maybe pay a fine or something, but it's really profitable when they do make it.
Exactly, yeah. Have your ship confiscated if they catch you.
Yeah, exactly. So there's kind of like a risk versus reward thing there.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's going to be months, or, you know what I mean? Like this game, you look at some games like RimWorld's been in development for 3 years, I think.
Yes, it has.
Factorio.
Darkwood was in development for, I'm pretty sure it was 3-4 years.
Wow. It's funny because I'd never heard of that until I saw it on your channel.
Yeah, they had a really successful Kickstarter. They then they went and developed it for, I don't know, maybe a year or so. Released in early access. I purchased it as soon as it came out in early access. I played it for about 10 hours, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, there's a lot of spoilers here. I'm going to put the game down and wait till it's fully released, so that way when I play it, it's completed and I know I can finish the game. Because like, you could, if you bought the early access version, you could play up to a certain point, and then it would just, a pop-up would come up and say that like you've completed pretty much as far as you can get. And I was like, well, I don't know if I really like that, because I really want to know the story, and I don't want to play halfway through and then hit a point where I'm like, oh god, what happens next? So I actually put the game down and waited about 3 years, or it was like 2 or 3 years to play it again.
Yeah, you don't want to burn yourself out on it before you can actually finish it.
Exactly, especially a game like that where it really kind of matters, you know?
Yeah, because you want to see the second half of it, but if you've played the first half of it 20 times, there's no way you're going to come back to actually see the second half.
Exactly.
Plan there. Yeah, that's I think we were off the air when we were talking about how difficult it is to play games for fun that we're not recording. But seeing you play Darkwood, I want to buy that game just to play it offline.
Oh, it's
because it looks so fun.
I'm so happy to be playing it. I don't even like horror games, but the game is just a completely, I don't know, it's a whole different experience. I've never really played anything like it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I like Don't Starve. I don't know if you'd really consider that horror, but
it's a type of, yeah, I mean, it's
but this game transcends the horror genre like even more than Don't Starve did. I mean, it's like you're playing a movie in a way. That's how fascinating it is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole time I'm playing, I'm eager to like advance forward and see what's going to happen next. Or, I mean, and weird things happen. I mean, you're playing and like stuff is scripted, but you just don't expect it. It's just a whole different. I don't even like horror games, but I never thought I'd be playing a game like that. But here I am, and I'm having a blast with it.
Yeah, it's the atmosphere and stuff in it is just really great. You know, it reminds me of The Long Dark. Like my favorite thing, I've never played Long Dark, but I've watched Let's Plays of it.
Yep.
My favorite thing about that is the atmosphere. So
yeah, exactly. It definitely shares a lot of similarities atmosphere-wise with that kind of game. I mean, they really nailed it. I'm somewhat surprised it hasn't picked up as much traction as I thought it would. Seeming as what kind of game it is, but
yeah, you never know what games are gonna take off and which ones aren't. It's so weird.
Yeah, exactly.
That works out.
I'm still not happy with my Earth to Mars ships. I actually think they left empty.
Oh no.
Bummer. Guess no profit to be made there. I've had no luck with Mars.
And that takes a long time to get back.
Yeah, it's a long travel. And Mercury's been all right. I'm okay with Mercury.
I'm just slowly adding ships. Every time I get another $31,000, I spend it on another ship. I need to upgrade some of my maintenance.
Now, do you have any particular ships that are just slowly dwindling in? Because I noticed that eventually profit does start to die off for certain. I'm better off just selling those ones, because by the time they get back, I could have used the money for something else.
Yeah. No, all my ships seem to be doing pretty well.
I haven't had anything other than the 4 ships I've sent out of Mars that have completely flopped over and died. I haven't had anything yet really run off. I had to switch around some of my Luna ships because they were not turning over really any profit.
Yeah, same here. And actually, now that you mention it, my ship that is carrying consumer goods to Luna and rare resources back to Earth, those are losing profitability. So I'm going to actually move one of those over probably to the Mercury route.
Yeah, it says that Luna has a high demand for machinery, but I think Earth isn't pumping out machinery like it should be. Let's see.
We just need more rare resources coming in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of tough, you know, if we got Venus going, that'd be one thing. but I don't think either of us can afford to subsidize.
Oh gosh, no.
That's
Maybe by the end of the next episode, but
yeah.
nothing that's going to be relevant in this series. But yeah, I feel like my Mars routes are actually doing really well. Mars is getting close to being saturated on food and water, though.
I see that. Machinery would have been the next best thing if we had machinery.
Boy, and there's no passengers going to Mars either. A lot of passengers wanting to get to Mercury. What is this? Ah. Ship there. Yeah, it definitely feels like passengers were nerfed with this new patch.
I think so too. I'm not seeing a lot of success. I'm still messing with it a little bit, but it's just not how it was. Or how you mentioned, you had some luck with it before.
Yeah, in previous games I could just constantly rotate one food ship, one passenger ship, one water ship, like almost nonstop, and Earth would never run out of passengers. So I think it did need a nerf. It's hard to say at the speed 1 that we're playing. It's really hard to judge how well it's balanced out.
Yeah. Do you want me to up the speed a little bit?
If you're fine with it, I'm fine to go to at least 2. Yeah.
Yep. I'll throw it right up on 2. It's not an issue at all.
I feel like, and I mean, I don't know how it goes in multiplayer, but seems like speed 3 and 4 might be a little tricky with.
I think eventually you start having some latency issues. It's almost like the game can't, because it's almost like our computers. You're like your computer, since I'm hosting, can't maybe fully keep up with how things are moving. So you start to get some weird numbers that aren't matching up, and they mentioned
when your planets start getting out of their orbits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, they're supposed to have fixed that actually this last patch.
Speaking of, everything looks great. Like none of the planets are out of orbit. In my last multiplayer series, during the 3rd episode, the moons of Jupiter were really going crazy.
Really?
It was kind of hilarious to watch them. Actually, they were like square dancing.
That's great.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And I forgot that I'm not hosting, to be honest. Everything is running so smooth on my side.
Hey, that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah.
The little jitters that you expect from the ships and stuff, that is not happening at all.
They said they fixed a lot with this last patch they released. They said multiplayer was pretty. They might even be good enough they could take all the bugs off the multiplayer menu button.
Actually, yeah, you are right.
I don't know how hot joining is yet.
Yeah.
Probably still a mess.
And judging it based on how well it's doing in 2052, that's probably not where they're going to be judging it. They probably want the game to be running smooth at 2060 or something in multiplayer.
Exactly, and I imagine it does start to slow down once you start reaching the different galaxies and such. I mean, that's why they've kind of got a throttle there for, I think, what is it right now? We got 5 systems total or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange that... I don't even know if you could set up a multiplayer game with custom parameters.
They said you couldn't.
There was, huh? Yeah. All right. 5 systems seems like it would be pretty good anyways. I mean, in your brain, it's like, oh, I want to have so many systems, but in reality, it's hard to imagine the game spreading out to more than 5. So
exactly.
Oh, you have a lot of ships circling around the Earth.
Yeah, I'm actually just about to fix that.
When I zoom into Earth, the multiplayer problems become a little more evident. The ships are really jumping around, and it looks very... it just doesn't look good. But that's the only time I really see those problems.
I was actually going to mess with trying to take a loan, but it really doesn't seem like it's...
Yeah. What can you borrow? $70,000 or
Yeah,
something?
it doesn't really seem like... And the interest rate's like ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like a 50% interest rate or something.
Yeah, and that's... I don't know if that's annually or per month or...
It doesn't change the term of the loan you were attempting to... It doesn't really say.
Huh. Yeah.
How that fully works.
Length of the loan. Yeah. The term principal of the loan. Yep, doesn't give you an indication of what
Oh, I'm going to take one and see what happens. I'll mess with it a little bit and see what it does.
Mm-hmm. I know I've taken 2-month loans before. It's been a while, but, you know, I don't even remember when I did it. It was during some Let's Play. Or multiplayer or something.
Yeah.
Oh. Luna needs food and water again.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Well, that's because we cut off their food. We're such bad
Exactly.
people. All right, no money to be made. Everybody can starve now.
Yeah, now there is money to be made. We're gonna flood it again.
Yeah. Luna's got a super unstable.
Famine for those guys. Yeah.
So poor Luna, such an unstable economy.
Still no passengers needing to get there though, so at least we're being responsible hosts in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. And we're sending the people. We're just not sending the food.
I don't think I have any machine... I do have one machine ship going to Mercury. These ships named, I haven't been keeping up on that.
Yeah, the demand for food and water is still increasing.
Passenger ship there. What's this one? Ah, now I've got some decent profits coming in. That's nice. I bet you it's the fact that we upped the speed is why it seems like I'm suddenly much more profitable.
That's a good point. Yep.
Put now you have a much better reputation on Earth than I do. You're at like 84 and I'm at 79.
I haven't fully figured out the reputation system. I've got it kind of a little bit under... I understand it a little bit, but...
Uh-huh.
I think it's probably just because I haven't built a whole lot of buildings on Earth.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because every
like,
time you build one, it lowers your reputation.
And then I think you gain reputation by delivering, like, stuff that's in demand and hauling away stuff that's in supply.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, because I seem to have a better reputation than you on Luna, although I haven't built anything. Like, all I've done is transport stuff back and forth from Luna.
I seem to have just the right amount of gates there because they're flying off just about as quick as they're coming in. Earth, I seem to have gotten stable now.
Nice.
I took a loan to try, so we'll see how the loan affects me. I'll wait for my finances to generate a little bit, and we'll see what we've got. Not happy with these, I'll tell you that. I got 2 ships here that aren't making me any money. I'm quick to ditch ships if they're not making money. I don't sit on them and wait to see if they become profitable. I'm just like, alright, these aren't making money, bye.
I'm kind of used to going to like Mercury and Mars, where you definitely have to give it a bit of time, find out whether it's going to be profitable or not.
Yep.
I'm not making when you look at your route screen and it tells you the profitability for individual routes, it's very discouraging.
Yeah, right.
It's like, don't show me that.
You're like, wait a second, I made $800 this whole time? What?
Yeah, or I've got like a negative $130,000 on my Mercury route. Yeah.
Mercury's a tough one. Let's see. I can actually tell you what I've got. Let me. Oh yeah, no, I ain't gonna look at that screen. It's a lot more comfortable to just look at the profit screen on ships.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like negative 23,000. Some of my other ones were negative. I'm gonna delete some of these routes I'm not even using anymore. Let's see which ones I'm not. That's something I got to get in a better habit of doing too. I got to delete routes once I decide I'm not gonna use them.
Oh, I haven't actually run into any routes that I don't use.
Yeah, I'll usually set up routes to try different things. If I'm not happy with how they're running, then I'll just delete them and try something else.
So you set them up with like specific load and unload orders and
stuff?
Or?
Yep.
Got it.
I never really did. I guess I'm always kind of trying to find like the perfect balance between, like, I guess moving resources from one planet and then picking them up and moving them to another. And I never really messed much with. I think that's the big difference between how both of us are playing and where I think you're excelling. I never really messed with like transporting just one particular type of good. You know, I always set my ships up to have maybe half of one thing, half of the other. But it doesn't seem to be very profitable.
Yeah, I find that because actually after I had watched you when this game first came out, I was like, oh, he's got the right idea. So I tried doing mixed consists like you do, and I find it just makes it too hard to manage your ships in the long term. It
definitely does. Eventually you hit a certain point where you're like, okay, you know, I want to move a group of ships around, but you're trying to find planets that the ships are compatible with. And it's not always likely. And then on top of that, it's a little bit more microing, and I think it was kind of profitable when I first started doing it with the way machinery operated and moving around machinery and rare resources, but just the way they've changed a lot of stuff, it doesn't appear to be that way anymore.
Yeah, and you'll get to where, like, Luna it'll be saturated on food, but it'll have a demand for water, and then if you have your ship set up to carry both food and water, what are you going to do, you know? You're going to keep oversupplying it on food just to be able to bring it the water that it demands.
Exactly.
So if I have just food and just water ships, it's really easy to shut them down or shift them over to Mars or something like that. Speaking of shifting ships over to Mars. Now, was that a new colony that started up? No. Conditions back to normal on Luna.
Did we have a new colony, you said? No.
No. I'm starting to learn what the different little sound effects that go with the messages mean.
Oh, I don't really even have any idea.
Yeah, it took me a while, and I'm like, wait a minute, when it does this sound, it means it's a spaceport upgrade, and this sound means a subsidy ending and whatnot. That's
a really good way to eventually pick it up. Have you cut back your ships going to Mars a little bit?
No, it does seem like it, but I think it's because Mars is further away.
Okay.
So they're kind of spread out. I'm actually adding more ships into Mars right now. I focused a little more on Mercury for a while there.
I need to get a good Mars route going. I just haven't had much luck. Let me try something else.
I've got 3 sets of ship going to Mars, and I'm putting in my 4th set right now. Oh my gosh, it's been 24 minutes already.
Holy crap. What would you look at that?
I know, it seems like it was about 10. Every time that timer goes off, it's like, how is the time up?
I know.
Can't these episodes go on forever?
Imagine if you didn't have the timer. We'd probably run like 32 minutes, not even notice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, easy. All right. Well, take a look at our reports here. Well, you know, it's always, you look at the operating profits and it's always very discouraging because operating profits are always terrible.
I know.
Jump into net worth here. Well, you're at about 487,000. I am at 926. So
yeah. Actually, just jumped up to 950. Well, 960, kind of moving around. Yep.
Yeah.
Pause it here.
But you are destroying the AI.
Yeah, for them being unfair, they've just completely hit their.
They've actually been real stagnant.
In fact, I don't know if you've noticed, but have they even really grown outside of? I mean, they're very.
Yeah, it seems like they have one line, or you know what I mean, a couple of ships going back and forth to Mars, and that's about it.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot happening with them. I wonder if they're having a money issue, maybe, or.
Maybe. I mean, they got a lot of stuff going back and forth to Luna. And maybe that they're just focusing too much on Luna. But yeah, if you look at the monthly profit report, the red team basically has no monthly profits.
Yeah. They're not really doing too hot.
Yeah. So still more work for them to... It's too bad. You would think only having one AI that it would have a better chance of being successful.
Yeah, you'd think so. I'm not even sure if it... I mean, it helped a little bit with getting colonies kickstarted, but aside from that, they're pretty much at... I don't know, they're at a bottleneck. They're just not advancing anymore.
Yeah, and it seems like it's because Luna is getting saturated with stuff, and maybe they rely too much on Luna for their profits.
Probably, and now they're just not making money anywhere else, and they don't got the money to get good routes set up. Yeah.
So, actually, that might be some good feedback to give to the guys. Maybe they need to have their ships focus on going to Mars or something. But we don't need to talk about that. This is the end of the episode. We should probably wrap things up.
Yes, we should.
Stop recording. Yeah, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you're on my channel, check out Sabouts' channel. And if you're on Sabouts' channel, check out my channel. And thank you. We'll see you on the next episode.
See you later.